My recommendations if you care to practice value are for ADC, Chiron, and for support, Sobek. And this fine young man happens to be showcasing both of them. First things first, the build's wrong. Already setting yourself up for failure. That is the lifesteal attack speed build. It's good on auto attack based characters, Apollo, Rom, not Chiron. Chiron's ability based, and not only is he ability based, he's utility heavy. Transcendence gives power, mana sustain, and cooldown. His 1 cleanses crowd control. Why wouldn't you want that up more often, especially with that team composition? His 2 reduces physical protections and offers a slow if you use it, and it can be procced by his abilities, so you want abilities up more often. And his ultimate does a butt ton of damage and is a revive on top of it. And with ability based builds, you can build into utility items like a brawlers with that ultimate. With your 1, with your 2, you can actually proc it from a distance and be useful. I know someone's gonna say you forgot about Chiron's passive, really good utility because it has a heal. Nothing you build will affect the potency or how often that heal comes up. So me saying it is a bit irrelevant, but I said it for you because that is true love and affection. Does it work? Yes, it does. Chiron is a hunter, but if you want more value, you build differently, or you play a different character that can actually use the lifesteal build, like Jing or Rom.
Oh. Technically, we're not even using...
All right, wait, back up. That's, you know why we don't want to fight right now?
Because Jingwei wants to fight in the early game.
That is correct. Jingweis get a lot of value by fighting you really early in. If they have to back for some reason, they can just fly back into the lane, so you wait for the minions to get closer, and then you fight, because then if she does decide to back, she's still going to lose out on creeps.
All right, we can fight now. She can't go back anymore. Oh, she stopped autoing. She's a genius.
Jingwei's got a good head on her. Right now is a great time to use an ability as a hunter because it'll be back up before the waves meet so that you can clear with it. So she out-footsied him severely. She broke the pattern. The only thing on his mind was hitting Jingwei, not value. For more value, he should have placed it higher and a little to the right. If Jingwei cared for her health, she would have had to go to the left, being more exposed to the Sobek, or stepped forward, being more exposed to auto attacks from the Chiron. Or if she cared more for her positioning, which she should have, she would have had to step further into the lane or to the jungle, but you cut those options off because you placed it higher and to the right. So now the new scenario is, if she knows what she's doing, she's going to get hit with the 1. If she doesn't know what she's doing, she's going to juke the 1, but into more danger. Or walk her further into the lane by not using your 1, but threaten it. Threaten the 1. Use your basic attacks. The longer you don't use an ability, the longer they have to guess. Is he going to use it? Is he not? As soon as you use it, those options are gone. You can't use it now. So in either scenario where you position it better or you don't use it at all, you would have gotten better value than what you did. And if you're telling me, oh, you're just being nitpicky, it's the small things that add up. He's been preaching that for years. He can take it. Those last few basic attacks were pretty good. If you know COD, you know peak shots. Are you old enough to know what COD, Call of Duty? Yes? Fortnite? Oh yeah, you know that. You time your shot so you shoot right before you go behind cover. Then when you step back out, you shoot right before you go back into cover again. Definitely something worth knowing as an ADC. It's not so good against hunters who have abilities that go through walls, and right now it's a really good time to do it because the minions are collapsing in on each other. Neither wants to use an ability. You need to clear with those. Sobek got Tail Whip over Sickening Strike. Let's weigh out the options. In favor of Tail Whip, it does more damage. That's a point. Sickening Strike has a heal, applies anti-heal, and it doesn't make a mess of the minion grouping. In the early game, you want to stay in the lane as long as possible, as comfortably as possible, while pushing out the enemy or putting them in an uncomfortable position. It's about what you are trying to accomplish. The 2 would be better if you were trying to start your purple buff, because then all you need there is time and damage. But we're not going to mention that, are we, Mr. Nance? No, we're going to let this Sobek, who paid good money for this, continue living their life as a tail whipping Sobek. And if you're wondering, both hunters played this one poorly. They should have used their abilities on the wave. You get level 2 on the second wave. I'll take level 2 over 50 damage any day, Trebek. But how do we know it's wrong? Sometimes it's not wrong immediately. It's like a butterfly effect, and it's not something that gets decided by you. In this case, it's going to get decided by the jungler. It was a mistake for Jingwei because it ended up costing her her purple buffs. They didn't hit level 2 off that second wave. They couldn't fight him off. It's a mistake for Chiron because he thought now is a great time to invade. Unless you know where the jungler is, don't go for the after second wave invade, and especially don't stick around in that little hole. What they should have done is after the second wave, go get their buff, then come back, pressure the wave so that when Jingwei comes back from getting her purple buff, the wave is already closer to tower. You're keeping that pressure up, you're not losing out on farm, and you're not putting yourself at risk of ganks. Now they gave up first blood, sub-X behind, and Chiron has no Aegis. But that's not what decides the game. Unless it's late, like 50 minutes in the game, only one bad decision matters then. Right now, it's an accumulation of a bunch of bad mistakes over and over and over again. Like stepping forward and getting absolutely rocked. Grouping up, and the enemy gets more value out of crowd control and damage. Meanwhile, you're losing out on health you can work with. And that's not going to seal your fate, but you're playing frivolously with your health. You're playing fast and loose with your mana. Somebody else is going to have to step up and help you out. The support is going to have to go way further and beyond than they need to. Their relics are going to get used because you don't have your relics. But you have to be aware and willing to change these things. Or you can spend the next few years worrying about that one creep.
Yeah, they would have missed another creep if you didn't do that.